Hi everyone, this is Hillary Ellers from Lightwork Studio, and we are continuing our work and investigation now into humans, space beings, and devas. And this is the third session on that topic. I hope you will watch the other two first. It will be much, much more meaningful to you if you do that. And I just want you to know that this topic is one of my favorite topics, and I have so much fun teaching it. So it makes me happy to be able to bring this information to you. And you know, I have said this before. Take what you can, what you don't understand or agree with. See if you can just set it right here and don't completely put it in the garbage can. And give it a chance to grow on you. Or if it doesn't, that's okay too. So today we're going to explore the Devas, and it's D-E-V-A as a singular, Deva. We've talked about humans and space beings now. So the Devas, particularly as they become human, let's see what that's about. And they are, to just describe them first, they are the great winged beings. And in some philosophies, they are simply called angels. And they are said to be the messengers between the higher dimensions and the earth, between the higher beings and humans, that they are the link or the conduit that brings energy into the earth from higher planes. Know that they're not similar much to humans and space beings, who are both very mental and intellectual. Devas are the great feeling beings, and they work from their heart center. And in fact, what is seen as their wings is actually thought to be a line of energy that is coming and going from their heart center and forms what then is seen as wings. It's not as important what their body structure is, you know, because angels, we always think of them winged and all that. Whether they have wings or they don't really have wings is not really important. It's the quality of their consciousness that we're looking at and studying in particular. And just know that they express themselves and they operate in the world primarily through feelings, emotions, and intuition. Where humans and space beings figure things out, Devas just know. They have a pure, direct line of knowing that comes to them through feelings. They feel the truth. They feel the answer to something. They feel what their purpose or mission is. And they don't really have to ponder it and look at it and think about it and wonder about it. They just know. It's a pure, direct quality of knowing. When we think of the Devas, think of them as the great beings who nurture the earth. They are the nurturers. They send nourishing, protective energies to our planet. And unless they choose to become human, they never enter the physical plane. They always operate from a higher dimension. And then, of course, if they choose to be born as a human, they have a physical body and they're in the physical world. It is said that the Devic evolution, which is all the Devic beings, you know, as a collective, that the Devas are older than the humans, that they came out of the Creator and into activity in a round of evolution ahead of humans. It doesn't make them smarter or wiser or better than humans. And one thing I'd like you to get, although just because of how our human brains measure things, we just have that tendency to look at something that is more than or less than. And in this case, and when it comes to looking at the souls of beings, there is really no more than or less than. Even if a being is a very old soul, and even if they are a planetary deity or ruler, they're not more than you. And we all have the same amount of God stuff. And the difference is simply that certain beings are more self-aware. And the more self-aware you become, the more you can activate your God potential. The younger Devas that are a little less evolved, and that doesn't mean less than, okay? It's just sort of where they are at in their work and what kind of work they do, the placement they're in, but it's not better or worse. The younger, less evolved Devas work more with the building and the maintaining and the nourishing of form. So they are, in a way, think of it, this sounds maybe like a put down, and I don't mean it that way at all, but sort of think of them as the janitors of the universe, that they are working with form. The older or the more evolved Devas work more with the promotion and growth of consciousness. And so the younger Devas are busy helping to build form, and the older Devas are busy helping to support and build consciousness. When Devas have advanced enough to work with humans, because they, in their younger forms, they start out working in nature with maybe a flower. And then as they grow, they work with a plant. And then as they grow more, they work with a number of plants. And their work continues to grow. And they, at some point, when they begin to work with humans, they are more or less equal to humans in evolution at that point. And at that point, when they begin to work with humans, they have an option to enter the human kingdom, to actually become a human, to experiment with that, to experience it, to see what it's like. And so some Devas decide when they begin to work with humans that they want to be a human. And they then can be born in a human body. And when we look at them, they look just like any other human. And because in that way, on a physical level, they are human. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for Devas to become human. And they operate in such a different way than humans. They work from their feeling centers, their emotions, their heart. Humans are more hard-edged. We work more with intellect. Like for a human, they know first by thinking. A Deva knows first by feeling. And I think, let me say this. A lot of what I'm teaching you is what I think, not what I know, okay? It's what I think. And we have to, sometimes what you think changes. So I give myself that freedom that I may change how I see this. But it's occurred to me that you may be able to tell a lot about yourself in terms of observing or watching or paying attention to how you know things. Do you know things because you sort of have to think about it and figure it out? Or do you have feelings that just give you a knowing, that you just know something because your feeling directs you there, or your feeling gives you an answer? And that may help you know you may be more Devic or more human or more spatial. The humans and the space beings will be more apt to think about things first before they know, before they feel through knowing. Why do Devas become human? Well, one of the reasons is to learn a different way of knowing, to broaden themselves, to become a more complete being. Because if you work mostly with feelings and you don't work with intellect, in a sense, there's a part of the potential of being that you're not activating, and vice versa for humans. If you work mostly with thinking, there's a part of being that you're not fully activating. And humans can also choose to become Devic. It's interesting. We don't have any real teachings about that, about, well, what's that like, and what happens then, and what are humans like when they become Devas. I think it would be very scary to make a change like that. Very scary. But also intriguing, perhaps exciting. I think you are brave. You're very brave when you make a change of that sort. Either the Devas becoming human or vice versa, humans becoming Devic. So we're always working to be all that we can be. We're working to learn all that we can learn and to be all that we can be. And so the people who are the most dedicated to growth and inner development and the growth of self-awareness are the beings who probably would say, sign me up for a change. I'm willing to try it, you know. And so if you are a Deva who now is a human, you probably made this decision because you somewhere deep in there are very dedicated to growing and to becoming all that is possible for you to be. Now, Devas in their own environment are very specialized. And I don't really know how to explain that because I don't understand that. This is just the teaching, that they are very, very specialized. They have a very narrow work. One thing, perhaps, they do. But what they do, I would say they execute their work perfectly. It's very different than human. In the earth, there is nothing perfect. I didn't have to tell you, right? There is nothing perfect. So for Devas, they have a narrow, perfectly executed kind of work. Now, amazing, when they become human, they enter this sort of clumsy domain of humans, and we're the jack of all trades, masters of none, right? It's sort of like we dabble in everything and we do nothing perfectly. When Devas take on being a human, sometimes in human form, they're impractical. They may not be very grounded. And one thing that seems to be very true for Devic humans, they can be very, very insecure about themselves. They may feel that they just don't measure up. They feel like they're not good enough at being human. Now, mostly they don't know why, or they don't understand that, but it's something they feel, a sort of inadequacy. It sort of is very typically Devic, at least until Devas have been here quite a while, and then they can grow out of that. Also, in the beginning in particular, Devas are usually sort of emotional basket cases. They're just so emotional. They're just, you know, it's like everything is so intense for them on a feeling level. And so they are the people that you see that are just struggling under the intensity of feeling. And that person is probably a Deva if they are reacting to the world like that, or reacting to their lives. Another thing about Devas who become human, they build strangely, I think. They build imperfect physical bodies. There's usually something about their physical body that doesn't work quite right. Now, that doesn't mean it's a major defect, like a major deformity. Now, it could be, but generally it's a little something. Like, I think I'm probably Devic myself, and I have a bone in my foot that just isn't right. It's just not quite in the right place, and it doesn't act quite right like it should. And I may end up having to have foot surgery because of it. Well, that's so Davic to have something like that going on. Sometimes, for instance, my mom, I think she was definitely a Deva. Her heart wasn't in quite the right place. And I mean, it was a little over. I mean, it wasn't in her foot or something, but it was just a little misplaced in her chest compared to most people. Things like that are very Davic, very. Um, the Devas, in their expression, are the wonderful, wonderful beauty makers of the world. They help us create a more beautiful world. They are the healers, the great chefs, the designers, the builders. Wherever energy is changing form, a Deva is present. If not in human form, from the other side of life. Wherever energy is changing form. And they become human to see and experience what they have been building from the other side of life. When they're on the other side of life, they're sending energy into the earth to help us on some level. But they don't get to experience exactly the result of the help they're giving. When they become human, they can experience the manifestation of the work they were doing as Devas. They also come in to balance feelings with thinking, to get that more balanced, and to not be so, as it were, airy-fairy. Because that's another way to think of Devas. They can just be la la la, you know. Devas and space beings, once they choose to become human, they can, if they want to, they can stay on that path. They don't have to go back to their origins, but they also can go back. So they have a lot of freedom of choice, and the one thing they have to work with in this case is karma. That to go back to their origins, they need to have their karma balanced. And so even master beings, when they come in, are still subject to the laws of karma, and we can easily get kind of tangled back up in karma, even if we've sort of freed ourselves at one point. So it's a little tricky, this part of it. What I'd like you to do is just look at yourself, look at your friends, your family, and start to feel, just start to feel, what is the energy of these people close to you, or even people you just brush shoulders with out here in the world, okay? What is the energy people hold? And you'll begin to feel, are they original humans? Are they space beings? Are they Davic? And what about yourself? What are you? And it may help you understand yourself a lot more and help you understand others and appreciate differences and a lot of why we're so different. So I want to stop here with our lesson today and leave you with that consideration. Take care. So let's do a guided meditation. Just begin by allowing yourself to take a nice, deep breath. And in this moment, feel what it feels like to breathe. In this moment, feel how good it feels to breathe. Your breath connects you to everything. Every incoming breath is bringing a soothing wave of relaxation through your entire body. Just feel your muscles letting down, relaxing. Feel your shoulders dropping. Every outgoing breath is carrying with it all of the tension of the day, all out and away from you. Every incoming breath is bringing a soothing wave of relaxation through your entire body. Every outgoing breath is carrying with it all of the tension of the day, out and away from you. From this deeply relaxed place, you are able to feel and know more and begin to allow yourself to feel your own origin. Begin to feel your energy. Is it a thinking energy? Or a feeling energy? Begin to appreciate yourself on a much deeper level. Give thanks for this self-awareness and know that you will continue to be more and more aware of your own essence. Give thanks for this information and this awareness, and gradually now begin to return. And return being aware that you will continue to learn more and more about yourself. Bring back with you all that you have experienced and return to the safe container of your physical body. Find yourself safely anchored in your body. And just stretch. Do whatever helps you return. Oh. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Thank you.